To say isekai is an oversaturated genre is an understatement. For every ReZero and Konosuba, there's going to be 10 times the amount of random generic isekai anime hinging on a gimmick to appear to be unique. I've experienced this so many times that I start to scream hysterically when in earshot of the words isekai and Reincarnated. This, unfortunately, is a plague with no cure. However, there is a treatment, and that, my people, is finding that one series that makes you think, maybe this genre doesn't suck. That series for me is a manga based on isekai, but isn't an isekai. Yeah, I'll explain. Watashi no musuko ga Isekai tensei shitappoi, or it looks like my son has been reincarnated into another world, is the topic of conversation. So, what is this isekai-less isekai about exactly? Our male MC, Tomota Dabara, is an office worker who doubles as a self-proclaimed otaku. Our female MC, Mio Hayama, is a viloma, which means a parent who has lost their child. Because of this, Mio seeks out her high school classmate, Dabara, for his nerd knowledge in an attempt to be reunited with her son via isekai. Right then and there, the premise made me raise an eyebrow in a good way. I was curious as to what direction the series would go in. Is the son really dead? Is Mio delusional? And will this eventually turn into a proper isekai? Having read a little bit, I have my own opinions on the questions I raised, but I'll say that towards the end. As I make this video, there are only 5 translated chapters out, and while that is a poor sample size to get a true grasp on the series, I was still impressed. Let's start with this lame ass boy, Dabara. As I explained earlier, Dabara is sought out as someone who can help Mio be together with her son through his otaku lifestyle. I'm positive many of y'all weebs would love that your disgusting hobby of anime and manga got you the attention of a certified MILF. Me, I don't really need it because according to a website, I got a couple MILFs that want my cock within a 5-mile radius, you know what I'm saying? But for real, even though Dabara is kind of starstruck by Mio suddenly contacting him, he acts as a proxy for the audience. Like us, Dabara too has his doubts as to what Mio is trying to accomplish with their mission to get isekai'd. And this skeptical perspective clashing with Mio's optimistic perspective really makes the reader wonder if this manga will actually go the isekai route or stay grounded in reality. But talking about the man himself in more detail, Dabara, as you could have guessed, was the geek in high school with no friends, no sauce, and no bitches. No bitches. No bitches. No bitches. About 17 years later, and Dabara now has 0 comrades, negative trip, and a lack of wenches. Oh, and he damn near 40. But being damn near 40 with the life he's led makes for an interesting story to tell. Aside from work, Dabara is socially reclusive. He is a lonely middle-aged bachelor whose diet is 90% ramen noodles. And while a life like that is fine if you genuinely want to live that way, it's obvious in Dabara's case that his life is a result of compounded self-doubt with a smidgen of an inferiority complex. You can see this in how Dabara talks in awe of Mio, who was one of the popular kids when they were in high school. Don't get me wrong though, the socially awkward MC is not new to isekai. In fact, it's the model archetype, but I think here it's handled much more maturely. Dabara's life as an otaku isn't played up purely for gags. It's explored seriously and is vital to the plot of the series, so I don't think he's the self-insert MC a lot of other isekai protagonists fall victim to. Mio though is the obvious draw of the series. If she had nothing else, just from character design alone, Mio made me turn my head to the series and not the one on my neck. She's a gorgeous MILF with the defined lips. It's not going to be hard for her to attract people to read the series. Case in point, look at what Maureen Kitagawa from My Dress Up Darling has done. People flock to that series like flies on shit because of the degenerate fan art of her. Funny enough, aside from all the horny jokes, Mio's looks actually do play a role in the story. Mio is canonically good looking, which creates some friction between her and Dabara as he feels intimidated by having such a high value woman talk to him. The other significance to her appearance is simply subversion. Sorry to break it to y'all, but this popular beauty isn't cheerful, bubbly, cute, nor tsundere trash. she is an adult. Mio is a mature, no-nonsense type of gal. She doesn't pull punches in a verbal dispute, and she isn't fawning over the MC like a schoolgirl. Mio is like what would happen if Ram was the main heroine of ReZero instead of Emilia. Very straightforward. As such, Mio is the go-getter of the series. Although Nobara is the brains behind the plot, Mio is the legs, proactively moving it forward. Despite this, Mio is someone who we only learn about through other characters. She doesn't get inner monologue like Nobara, so although she speaks her mind, some of her remains a mystery. For example, we don't know what she does for a living, she has a husband that she doesn't talk about, and we don't know if she still grieves over her son. This isn't bad though. On the contrary, it makes Mio more alluring as a character, building up the reader's eagerness to learn more about her. The tone of this series is dynamic. It could go from wholesome to dead serious to pure comedy. The first chapter is a good representation of its ever so changing atmosphere. Mio and Nobara meet, and initially it seems like, oh yeah, this feels like some type of rom-com setup, right? Then page fucking 5, Mio bluntly remarks, "My son, 3 months ago, little bastard died in a car accident. Where is Yusuke when you need him?" Then after she lays the plan to get Isekai to Nobara, he thinks to himself, this bitch is actually insane. To which Mio seems to read his mind and responds, "You just thought that I was some crazy bitch, right?" Not going to cover the entire chapter, but you should get the point. The vibe can change in a snap. Sometimes the series even toys with you by playing into the morbid tone, adding humor, and hitting you with some dark comedy. I will not spoil the scene I'm referring to, but it's something that might make you feel like a jackass for laughing at, which means purpose served. As for the art, I definitely won't be talking about this at length. It gets the job done. It's not mind-blowing, it's not trash, it's not mid or good either, but it's somewhere in between. Above average will probably be the best word to describe it. The art again works for the overall tone and intent of whatever particular scene is in question, so passing grades for the series in that aspect. Now in the final phase of this video, I want to say a couple of things before I close this out. In my opinion, although I'm calling the series an isekai, I don't think it will actually become one, so I would temper my expectations if I were you. Based on the flow of the 5 chapters I read, I think the series will stay rooted in realism and there won't be any fantasy element to it. Following the great Shiro Emiya's philosophy, people die when they are killed, and as such, I don't think Mio's son, or anyone for that matter, will be reincarnated. I think this manga will focus on Mio and Nobara's personal mishaps in life that they will gradually overcome together, but that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. Besides that, obviously I'm recommending that you read this series. I think it's something that'll appeal to any seasoned manga or anime consumer, especially jaded isekai fans. That's all for me though, y'all. It's your main Satsuki the Savage, and I am out.
Tasting your soul, you're not in control, just giving you goals. Scared of your past, the future is closed. The start is the end is a start. They both are the same, can't tell them apart. Nigga, that's cuz the intro was the outro.